All right, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I didn't put the disclaimer up. I better do it. I better do it. Okay, so I just want to say, first of all, here's the deal. Today we are going to look at exercises like you've never seen them before. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put up an exercise and then I'm going to ask you to look at it for like 10 seconds. And at the end of the 10 seconds, I want you to tell me, what do you see going on in this exercise and what can you see is the greatest opportunity when you are looking at this exercise? Okay? All right. So, now by the end of this show today, you're never going to be looking at exercises the same way again. It's going to feel really, really different. And before we do that, I just want to say welcome. And my name is Alexis Craig. I am a certified personal trainer, and we are here for the Next Fitness Show. This is a production of the Next Fitness Thing. We have a digital health and wellness platform with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of classes. We have many of these classes live every single day. So check us out. You can find us at thenextfitnessthing.com. You can find all our socials at the Next Fitness Thing as well. I'm sharing the wrong screen. Man, there it is. This is what I want you to see. All right. So, nothing I'm offering you is medical advice. All right, that's our disclaimer. We've done it. Okay, let's have some fun. You guys ready? All right, let's start with the first one. So, I want you to look at this exercise and tell me, what do you see as the greatest opportunity here? All right, if you're here live, I want to know. Shout it out. Let me know. Say hello. Marissa says hi. Edie says hello. Megan says hello. Erin says hello. Donna D says hello. And mom's in here saying TNFT kiddos hello. Okay, so check out this exercise. What can you see? Now, before we get into all the critical stuff, I just want to say we're here to point out opportunities. This is not to criticize someone's form. And I think that a lot of people, when they think that when a trainer is watching them, that the trainer is being critical of their form. And honestly, that is absolutely not the energy that it's coming from. If you have a good trainer, which I would say is most trainers, they're really looking to be helpful. And as a trainer, I can only speak for myself, but I really want to just make sure, number one, that you're not going to get hurt doing this exercise. Number two, that you're going to get the most out of it since you're putting all this effort into it. And also that it is the best that it can be, right? There's always going to be room for improvement on any exercise you ever do. Okay, so Edie says head should be straight, and Erin says she is looking up instead of down. Okay, awesome, beautiful. Okay, I love it. I love it. And yes, absolutely. I would say, first of all, she does look really strong. She looks like she's able to support her plank. This looks pretty easy. It looks like she has plenty of strength to be able to support herself in this position. So that's really important thing to recognize, is whether the person's struggling or whether it looks like they're able to do this with ease. Because if it's really, really a struggle, just being able to sustain it is kind of the most important thing, more so than optimizing and fine-tuning form. All right, so looking at her form, you can see she is looking at the computer, which I understand. Maybe she's taking a class or something like that. So it's understandable that your head would be forward. Now, you guys are absolutely right. Her head is forward instead of looking down. And Megan's in here saying she needs to engage her core and use her glutes a bit more. Exactly. So these two things are tied together. Because her head is forward, it makes her arch her back, and it makes it impossible for her to keep her abs engaged and to engage her glutes optimally. So I would encourage her, if you were going to give her one thing, I would encourage her to look down toward the ground, maybe toward her thumbs, somewhere around there, and that will help her. And then I would encourage her, squeeze her glutes and get her alignment in place. But a lot of times, just adjusting the head is going to fix everything else, because the neck is part of the spine. Mom says relax your fingers, and Donna D says she's smiling, so it's not painful for her. Right, I agree. I agree. And I actually think that's a really good point. So it's really important to notice if somebody is enjoying the way they're doing the exercise, or if they are struggling with it, or if they're hating it, right? Sometimes correcting the form can be a bit much. Sometimes if you, as a trainer, if I am just like on you, like fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this, it can take all the joy out of doing the exercise and can make it that you just feel like you're kind of under attack the whole time instead of having fun doing the workout. So I think that's an important thing to mention. Now, I can really relate to this personally because I grew up doing dance and cheerleading in a group, like competitive dance and cheerleading. And when you're in competitive dance and cheerleading, for anybody who's ever danced, you have to clean the routine. You already know the routine, you've practiced the routine, and now you have to drill it, drill it, drill it again and again and again while you're teacher is watching you and looking for what's wrong, looking for what's wrong, and fixing, 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 fixing with a very critical eye. So again, it completely depends on the vibe of what's going on. It can be really fun, especially if you love the routine and your team and you're having fun with it. It's a great way to work out. And at the same time, if what you're getting is harsh criticism, like, why do you keep doing that? Hey, you have to smile. Blah! Like, if anybody's seen Dance Moms, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It can be totally brutal when you clean the routine. So, just saying. The vibe that you come across this with is really, really important. Megan's in here. I know she has experience with dancing and cleaning the routine. And Megan says, I think corrections followed by enthusiasm for correcting your form goes a long way. Both are needed. Yeah, totally. The vibe is so important as you're doing this, I have to say. It's really, really important. Um, Even what I find as a fitness trainer, just the way that you say it, it really, really matters. Like if it sounds like you are being, rude, critical, judgmental when you're looking to help someone to optimize their form, it comes across completely differently. And the other thing is you can't control other people's experience. So some people are just really sensitive. So I will say I often will ask, like, are you open to some are you open to some considerations for your form, and just see what they say? And that way I have permission to tell them whatever I'm gonna tell them. Okay. Megan says, ugh, Dance Moms. I know. I think that was probably near you, right? Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do another one. I think I'm all of these are stock videos, okay? They're all stock. So I will say, in my experience, I've been doing this digital fitness thing for a while. When I first started in digital fitness, um, any stock photo or video you found, the form was horrible. There was not even possible to find good form. It's come a long way in the past 7 or so years, and now it's actually kind of hard to find bad form in stock videos and photos, which is kind of great. Okay, let's do the next one. So, what opportunity do you see? Let's see. Let's, this one's kind of easy. Let's do this one. What opportunity do you see here? I understand there's two people and one's a kid. So, again, it's really unlikely she's gonna hurt herself. What are you seeing? What opportunity do you see here? Mom says Dance Mom's such a relatable experience from our past. Yes, very much so. Megan says it's that Dance Moms was 4 hours away, but the ripple effect on the industry was far and wide. Thankfully, your dancers all thought it was awful. Yeah, that's good. That's good. They didn't think, oh, that's exactly like you. Okay, Aaron says the kiddo's knees are knocking inwards. Yes, exactly. Okay, so this is what I want to point out with this video right here. For one, with a kid, they're very unlikely to hurt themselves. So the fact that they're doing this at all is awesome, and I probably wouldn't be super harsh on this, The mom looks, I'm assuming it's the mom. The woman looks great. I will say with the woman, right here, you can see that she is leaning more into her right leg than into her left. Now, here's the way that I look at everything. I always start at the bottom. So you always start with wherever they're touching the ground. Are the feet placed well? I would honestly say for both of them, yes, the feet are placed well. And then I go up from there looking for joints being stacked. So if you look at the knees, the ankles look pretty good. Look at the knees. The knees on the mom, right? Here, I can push pause. Right there. Can you see how her left knee is higher than her right knee? That's telling me that she has more weight on the right side. Yep, her hips are kind of pushed out to her left. So that's the opportunity I see for the mom. She's also turning her head, so maybe that has something to do with it. Okay, the child. Yes, her knees are egregiously knocking in toward the center, which on an adult would probably be painful for a lot of adults. She's also has great range of motion. She's going all the way down and all the way up. So it's awesome to be able to have great range of motion. I would just encourage her to do her best to keep her knees over her feet if she can. Yep. Aaron says the mom is arching her back. All right, let's watch that. So we already looked at the knees. Yep, the mom's looking up a little bit. So yes, arching the back is definitely going to go along with that. She's doing a good job of keeping her chest up. Megan says that her dancers thanked her for being anti-Abby Lee. Good, good. That's great. Mom says they should face one another instead of side for side, better for copying. Yeah, that's probably true. That's true. Okay, nice. You guys did great. So again, let's think of this as starting from the foundation and working the way up, looking for joints stacking one on top of the other. In general, that's what you're looking for, is foundation first, joint stacking, and then the next piece to look at is spine, right? The most likely thing that is going to be well, let's just say the most catastrophic injury you would get would be spine. So you always want to make sure the spine is neutral. And if your spine is not neutral, it's actually pretty hard for your other joints to perform as expected if your spine's not neutral. So let's do one more. This one's very similar to the one you saw before. Here we go. What do you see with this guy? First of all, how's his foundation? Before you look at anything else, how's the foundation? Well, you can't see the feet, but you can see the hands. How's the setup of the hands? Marissa says if the child's knees are inward, might the child have hip misalignment? It's possible, but usually with the knees coming inward, that it's more that her glutes are not really very developed yet, is my experience with this. People's knees come in the middle when their glute medius isn't really very strong. So knees coming in on the squat is actually very common. So it's not necessarily that her hips are misaligned. It's just that she could build some more strength into her glutes. And your legs are also kind of looking for support by coming in toward one another so they can lean on each other a little bit. Okay, so this dude, what do you think? Are his hands good? I think they're pretty good. His hands are basically under his shoulders, which is what you're looking for. I think that part is great. I would probably suggest he spreads his fingers out a little bit, but I wouldn't say, that's probably not his greatest opportunity here. All right, so we looked at that. How about stacking of joints? Are his elbows, I mean, there's a lot of kinds of push-ups, so you don't have to have elbows directly over wrists. But are his shoulders basically over his wrists? Yes. Now we're going to look at alignment of spine. How's his spinal alignment? Carol says hi. Hi, Carol. I'll give you a moment with the spinal alignment. Let me know if you have any thoughts. I would say he's very similar to the first girl we looked at. He's looking forward, so he's arching his back. That means he's not engaging his glutes or his core as much as he could. I would say his greatest opportunity is to look down toward the ground. That'll help him neutralize his spine. Same thing we saw in the first one. Okay. Megan says his eyes are looking in the wrong place and his booty is elevated. Yes. And that's all kind of like the same issue, right? All right, let's do the next one. Here is the next one. Let's do another plank while we can. Here's a plank. Oh, I need to push play on this one. First of all, this move is very challenging. Skateboard Pilates, how fun is that? What do you think? Now, look at her foundation. How are her hands? Are her wrists directly under her shoulders? I'd say, yeah, pretty good. Her wrists are pretty much under her shoulders. And then we look to her spine. Are her ears and shoulders and hips and heels basically in a line? Now, I will say her hips are elevating when her knee comes in, and that's probably necessary to be able to clear the knee in the skateboard. So, as long as her spine is neutral, it's actually okay if her hips are a little elevated. But what would you say about the alignment of her spine? Aaron's response to this is, wowza! Yeah, exactly. I thought this one was fun. I would like to have this class. This, to me, this looks really fun. You can get those skateboards at Five Below for like $5 or less. Mom says, touch your nose, not your chin. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, I think that was for the push-up. Yeah, you're right about that up for the push-up. Yes. Megan says slightly rounded spine. Yes. Sharon says hips too high. Maybe. I mean, that was like what we were saying. It's okay if the hips are a little elevated if you need to clear your knee, as long as the spine stays neutral. Megan says props for the move. That's a challenge. Edie says curved rather than straight spine. Right. Okay, to be totally honest with you, sometimes in Pilates, they will encourage a C curve in the spine on the plank. I've seen it before. So maybe that was the instruction. But I would say this is the exact opposite of what we just saw in the plank and in the push-up. Instead of looking forward, she's looking down more than you would want. She's maybe looking a little bit towards her knee, sticking her head out on the front. And when she does that, it rounds her spine instead of arches her back. So let's go back to the other one so you can see this guy is looking forward and it arches her back, his back, sorry. And this girl has her head sticking out in the front and it rounds her spine. So the head is really important because it's going to drive the whole rest of that chain. Edie says curved rather than straight spine. Yes, exactly. And I would just say, like, this move is very challenging. So would I say she's doing it wrong? No, not at all. Not at all. I would say she just has the opportunity to build a little more core strength and to do her best to maybe her shoulders are probably a little elevated, like up by her ears. So anchoring her shoulders down and neutralizing her neck would be her greatest opportunity. Megan says, but compare the front person to the ones behind her. She's almost heaving her hips too much and moving too quickly for proper placement. Yeah, that's true. If you look at the people behind, you can see that they are, well, there's a variety of things going on there, but she is definitely lifting her hips more than some of the others. But if you look at the girl in the very back, you see how rounded she is? Very, very rounded. So again, this is a challenging move, so it's like, getting through it is the most important thing, as long as they're not going to hurt themselves. We're being picky, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to another one. How about this one? What do you see? What's the greatest opportunity here? Now, what's the first thing we start with? We start with the foundation. So you're going to look at the feet. How are the feet? How is the foot placement? And how is the use of the feet? Edie says totally on her toes. Right. I want to slow this down a little bit so that you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay. When she comes forward, some of these steps, her whole foot comes down, and some of them, like that step, and not so much that step, but the heel's coming up right there. The heel came up a little bit. Heel came up a little bit. Okay, so this is what I have to say about this. Stepping forward lunges are challenging, okay? I'm assuming there's no pain in the knee. Carol says too fast, and the legs are going maybe a little too wide. Megan says weight placement too far forward. You guys are right on track. Exactly. Aaron says not pushing off with the heel. Oh, I'm so excited. You guys are totally on it. Yes, exactly. Okay, so in a lunge, you want to think of down and up, not so much forward and back. Forward lunges are very challenging for this. So if she's training for sports, honestly, sometimes you're going to have to be on the ball of your foot. Sometimes in sports, you're just going to have to push off your toes and go. So is it completely wrong? No. But if we're trying to do lunges here, I would say slow down, like what Carol's saying. Take a step and come down and up instead of so much forward and back. You may be right that she might be taking a little too far of a step forward because we are looking for the knees to be 90-90, right? We want each knee to be 90 degrees. And the back knee angle is a little bit obtuse. It's a little bit greater than 90 degrees, which means a little bit too big of a step forward. If you focus on taking a slightly smaller step and more on going down instead of forward, you're going to be able to press into your heel, which will drive the glute instead of the quad. Great job, you guys. That was awesome. Excellent. Sharon says, my knees scream, slow down. Yeah, exactly. I even slowed this down. This is the slow version here, but let's go back to the regular speed. Here's normal speed. Fast, 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 fast. I mean, again, for sports, it's not wrong. It's just optimizing, right? All right, let's do another lower body one. This one is more of a yoga focus and maybe a little bit more challenging also. Here's this guy. What do you think about this guy? He's going for Warrior 1. What do you see happening in Warrior 1? What's his greatest opportunity in Warrior 1? First of all, in general, is he making the general shape that he's going for here? Yes, right? So I would say the first piece is just, is he generally getting the idea of what he's meant to be doing? Yes, I would call this a successful. So is he probably going to hurt himself really bad doing this here? No. So we can find these opportunities to fine tune him, and it's really fine tuning. Okay, Megan said, Edie says arms past head. Yes. Megan says hips too far back. Where are we looking? Hips too far back. I'm not sure what that means. Hips too far back. Carol says back foot too forward. Megan says, take care of those groin muscles, my dude. Megan is funny. Oh, that's great. Okay, so let's look at the foundation first. This is what I would say. Carol says back foot to forward. Here's the deal. Warrior one is a true lunge, meaning each foot has its own line. I'm gonna stop sharing just for a moment so you can see. Okay, in Warrior One, each foot has its own line. I'm gonna go just a little off so you can see. Each foot has its own line. One foot's in front of the other, and the back foot is turned out 45 degrees. They're not on a balance beam. They each have their own line, and the back foot is 45 degrees. Okay? Now, let's look at him again. I gotta find him. There he is. Okay. I think his feet look like they're on the balance beam a bit, especially because as he switches, you can see he's in this wide stance. And when he switches to the other stance, he doesn't really move his feet. So that means his feet are actually in line with one another, like on a balance beam, which in my view is incorrect. There are probably traditions of yoga that do teach it this way, to be totally fair, but I would, it is not the generally accepted form. Megan says, I don't think his weight seems centered. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Okay. Starting with the foundation, I do agree with Edie. His arms are like behind his head, but what is his greatest opportunity here? If you were to give him one thing, because here's the thing, if you're gonna think about your form, if you try to correct too many things, nothing's gonna get fixed. This is TRX refers to this as a swing thought. So it's like if you're in golf and you want to successfully hit the ball, you need to be thinking only one thing. If you're trying to think when you go to hit the golf ball, you know, drive my hips, lift my back heel, turn, rotate, backswing, but too many things. It's too many things. So what I generally suggest when you're looking to improve your form on something is to pick one thing as the swing thought, and that's what you're focused on working with. And that's the whole workout. You're working on that one thing. And then once you see that you've integrated that change, it's just like what we're talking about with like fixing, working on one habit at a time. This is a habit. So pick one thing, focus on that one thing. That's your opportunity. And once you've integrated that over time, then you're going to work on the next thing. Okay. So going back to this dude. All right. I would say foot alignment is probably the first thing I would suggest. If you look at his back foot, you can see that the pinky toe side of his back foot is not really very grounded either. That may be because his feet are in the same line. You can see how his pinky toe side of his foot is coming up and he's really dipping into the big toe side of the foot. That's making his hips collapse. It's making his knee collapse. So align your feet and ground your feet. I do think that will probably fix this hip position situation also. And I mean, I could go on and on with what's going on with this guy's form. Is his spine neutral? Here, we could pause it at the end range right here. Right here. Would you call that a neutral spine? I would not call that a neutral spine. You can see that there's more arch in his low back than in a normal lumbar spine. You can see his head sticking out in the front. It's not the end of the world if his hands are behind his head, but I mean, it's just kind of continuing this arch. So again, foot placement is number one, and that's probably the only form correction I would give him. And step two would be to kind of like tuck the tail under just a little, square the hips, tuck the tail, and it'll make your spine a little bit more neutral. Maybe it'll help bring the head back in as well. Yep. Good. You guys are on it. Okay, let's do a fun one. Here is a fun one. This is the next one. All right, so she's going for the headstand. And she's down. Okay. So what do you see here? What's her greatest opportunity? What do you think? What do you think? First of all, good for her for going for it. She's on like pavement. I mean, that mat's not very squishy, so when you fall, you're feeling it a little bit for sure. She did a pretty good job of falling. She tucked her chin. She rolled down well. So I would say this is all part of the learning process of the headstand, and it is absolutely part of the expected outcome of what will happen here. So is she doing it wrong? No, she's having her process. Carol says she needs a wall. Perhaps, perhaps. It can be really helpful to use a wall um, with the headstand for sure. Okay, what do you I'm gonna pause her when she's on her way up, and I want you to tell me here, right here. What do you see happening here that lets you know that she is very likely to fall? How can you tell that she's likely to fall? Aaron says way better than me. We're not comparing. What is the first thing we look at? What is the very first thing that we look at here? The first thing we look at is the foundation. So the key with the headstand is that you have a solid base of support. Megan says her weight is back. Yeah. I mean, okay. Honestly, let me move this down. Let's move this up actually. Okay. Honestly, she's not too badly aligned right here. I mean, her head and shoulders and hips are pretty aligned, maybe a little bit far back. I mean, you can tell when she goes up, like as she lifts her legs up, her hips go back for sure. So you can tell that that's happening. Okay, so yes, her weight going back is part of the problem, but the key to success with this actually is in the arms. So here, I'm going to take the share off so you can see what I'm talking about. When your elbows are too wide in the headstand, then it makes it really easy to fall over. When your elbows are more forward in the headstand, then you have this equilateral triangle between the 3 points, head, elbow, elbow. Your triangle, the equilateral triangle, is a much more solid base of support. So if you did notice that your hips were going back, you could lean more into your elbows. But if your elbows are wide and your hips are going back, you have nothing to lean on, and so you just roll over. So I would suggest for her to bring her elbows in more narrowly so that way and go slower on her way up. So that way she has a more solid base of support to be able to make it up. Yep, Megan was right on the page. It's a little delay with the chat, so I didn't see it. She says, and a legit question, are her elbows in the proper place? Because I can't do this, so I have no idea. Right. Okay, so let's look at her again. Here she is. And let's push play. There we go. Her elbows are too wide. And yep, so she falls over. I want to like correct her and have the satisfaction of her getting it, but on a recording, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Megan says, "Well, you answer my question." Yeah, exactly. Well, you were thinking in the exact right place. That's exactly what was going on. Okay, I have one more. This one is a bit of a mystery to me, to be totally honest, because I found a bunch of this lady's videos and she looks like she knows what she's doing, but this form does not look correct to me. What would you offer here as an opportunity? Okay, she's doing kettlebells. I know we don't have kettlebells in our classes, so you may not have a lot of experience with this to really know a lot about it. Let's start with the foundation. Do her feet look like they're well placed? I'd say yeah, they do. How about her knees? Are her knees doing what you're hoping they're going to do? They look like a pretty good squat to me. How about the hips? Hips are dropping back, hips stay square. Does that look good? Yes. How about the spine? Is she keeping her spine neutral throughout the entire range of motion? Yeah, she's doing good, actually. That's what I'm saying. Carol says stop flinging. Maybe. I mean, and kettlebells, it's kind of the whole idea to swing the kettlebell. So, but I do think you're on the right track. Megan says, I've always told to keep my swing to shoulder height and no more. Okay, so this is the difference in style of kettlebell swing. The American kettlebell swing is, I believe, wait, I might say this backwards. There's the American swing and the traditional swing. One of them is only to eye level. I think that might be the American swing. And the other one goes all the way up. So originally, when I learned the swing in CrossFit, they taught it to go all the way up. And then later, when I learned the swing other places, they only taught eye level. So it's not wrong to go all the way up. It's just a different style. Erin says it looks like she's using her back to pull up. Right. Well, this looks to me like it's kind of a snatch and it looks like it's kind of a swing. So I would say if this is meant to be a swing, keep your elbows straight. And if this is meant to be a snatch, keep the kettlebell a little closer to your body. And maybe I just don't understand what she's trying to do. But I don't, it doesn't look horrible to me. It looks just like it's not super efficient movement to me. Great. Megan says she's also thrusting her head forward at the end. Good point. Right there. Yes, true, true, true. Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring this one in is because once you have this systematic approach, right? You're starting with the base of support, starting with the feet, and then you're checking joints, stacking. You're checking spinal alignment. And then you start looking for the more nuanced things, like is her elbows are a little too bent, her head sticking out in the front, right? I would say the head sticking in the front comes in when you're checking the spinal alignment. So great job, Megan, in seeing that and pointing that out. And the arms is a much more nuanced piece. Okay. There are, of course, many other form considerations in general to be watching out for. This isn't like everything, but I do think that as far as a starting place, that this is a really good place to start for looking to correct your own form. So my challenge to you this week is for you to make a video just for yourself. I'm not, if you want me to look at it, I would, and you can send it to me. But I would honestly encourage you to just make a video for yourself. Pick a move, especially a move that you find challenging. Especially a move, maybe it's something you're just learning or something that you've been working on or something that you've received corrections on. And I want you to make a video of yourself doing this move. And then use this system. Check your base of support. Check the stacking of your joints. Check your spinal alignment. And then, look for anything else that seems to be out of place. And give yourself this opportunity for this trainer's eye of form correction. That's my challenge for you. Mom says, how can you critique your own form without a mirror? Well, most of us have a phone with a camera. So I actually think the phone camera is much more effective than the mirror because when you use the mirror can be really helpful. Don't get me wrong, especially because the mirror reflects in real time. So you can see it and fix it in real time with the mirror without having to like play it back and do it again. So, I mean, of course, I grew up dancing. I love the mirror, of course. And um The phone camera can be better, especially so that you could turn sideways from the phone camera. You could turn to the back. You can see yourself from different angles. And if it's not the phone camera, I also use Zoom in this way. I will turn on the Zoom, or whatever you might have on your computer with the camera, and you can record video from your computer as well, most likely. Mom says a video to check yourself out. Yes, a video. That's what I'm saying, a video. All right, cool. That was fun. If you ever have any videos that you want to go through opportunities for form with, send them my way. We can do it on the show. We can just do it on our own. If you see, I have to say, the awkward gym moments videos that they have, I don't like to shame people, so but I do find them hilarious. So if you ever see those things come up, definitely feel free to send me awkward gym moments. PS, don't be filming people in the gym. That's so rude. Okay, and that brings us to announcements. Are you ready? All right, I have a big announcement. This is our big announcement of the day today. You ready? All right, here we go. Our announcement is we have a new, I'm going to call this a series. It's not really a challenge and it's not really a program. I'm calling this a series, and it is called Find Your Fit. This is going to be completely free and on YouTube. So I'm committing to 5 days a week, at least for the month of August, and we'll see how it goes, at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, that I will be leading a class on YouTube, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. This class will be live, so you can join on YouTube. Unfortunately, you can't turn your camera on so I can see you, but there is chat, just like there is right now. So this is a great chance for you to invite your friends if they might want to join you for a workout. It's very low barrier to go and do it on YouTube instead of having to download an app or whatever to join our classes. I will be physically doing this, so it's like trainer takeover. Part of this is so that I have a built-in workout built into my day every day. And another part of this is to have an easy way to invite people to join us and to see a little bit of what we do. So every Monday will be strength with weights, basically, usually. Tuesdays will be TRX. Wednesdays will be walking, and I will be walking and on camera. So probably either walking pad or kind of like how Melissa's doing Fridays, of like marching kind of thing. Thursdays will be Pilates, maybe bar sometimes, and Fridays will be yoga. So if you can make it, great, come live. It'll be awesome to have you. And if you can't, then it's going to be recorded and on YouTube, so you can 100% take these workouts at a time. Whenever it works for you, if you want to, they'll be on YouTube. We did add these to our schedule as well, so you can see them in the schedule, and you can actually see that this class is happening and it's there. So check it out. And I also just want to say with that, I also made a landing page. Do you have to sign up? No, you don't have to sign up. You can just show up to the class if you want to. But I will be encouraging people, and if you want to invite your friends, I would encourage them to go to thenextfitnessthing.com/findyourfit, and they can join for free. It does not even ask for a credit card. All it asks for is an email address. And then they will get reminder emails. They will get a welcome package that tells them about what equipment would be ideal for them to get and where to find the workouts and, like, all of that kind of stuff. And also we're going to be giving new people some like free gifts and opportunities to join us and that kind of thing. So I would definitely encourage you to invite friends to actually sign up, so that that way we can give them all the goodies and everything like that. So anyway, this is Find Your Fit, nextfitnessthing.com/findyourfit. And I hope you guys will come starting on Monday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Okay. Oops. That was one video that we didn't do today. All right. Now, the other thing going on Monday is Goals Walk. So, yay! Goals Walk. Megan says, love this. Awesome. And mom says, awesome. August announcement. Marissa wants to know if the classes will be accessible. As best as possible, I would say yes. Strength class, always. TRX, I mean, TRX is very hard to make accessible, so I would not expect that one to be as much. Walking, yes. Um, Pilates, I would say mostly. And yoga, again, mostly. Okay. Goals walk is Monday. So we have this at all the times. If there is something you need to do to be accountable to yourself for goals walk, you have a few days. So go into Discord, look at what you said was your goal for July, and you have a few days. So get on it. Goals walk is Monday. Be there. All right. Goals walk's also free. True Crime Walk. All right. True Crime Walk is usually the first Sunday of the month, but this month we're doing it the second Sunday of the month. Mostly because we ended up pushing the last one, and so it's going to give Edie a little bit more time to be prepared, and also just everybody a little time to space them out more so they're not like back to back. So we're going to do True Crime Walk with Edie on August 9th. Edie's been so crushing these. Anna, we totally miss you. If you're watching this, we love you and miss you. And it's also been really sweet to have Edie doing all the things. I've been absolutely loving Edie's classes. So, if you want to sign up for True Crime Walk members, this is totally included in your membership. If you are a non-member and you want to try True Crime Walk, it's $5 just to take this one class. So you don't have to buy like a membership. You can come to the True Crime Walk and just the True Crime Walk. You go to thenextfitnessthing.com/true crime. All right, cool. Edie says Crime Walk prep is on. Awesome. Okay, announcing our August community event. Now, back by popular demand, we are doing the Dog Days Safari. This is one of our most popular events. So this event is all about your dog. This is encouragement for you to bring your dog on a walk. It is also encouragement if you don't have a dog for you to find a dog to walk or walk with for this event. It's on Saturday, August 22nd at 9 a.m. Pacific. So if you do have a dog, get them ready. If you don't have a dog, you can borrow a dog. You could go to the shelter and go walk a dog, work that out so that you can do that. This is your chance for the Dog Days Safari. All right, moving on. Book club. Okay, our walking book club in August is going to be on August 30th with trainer Melissa. This is Melissa's first time ever leading the book club walk for us. P.S. Melissa wrote the book. She co-authored this book, and she's also inviting her other co-authors to join us on the True Crime Walk. So this is going to be a really special one. It's called Requiem After Dark. You can find the link to get the book, whether it's ebook or a physical hard copy, at thenextfitnessthing.com/book club. And what else do I want to tell you about this? Melissa's also a high school English teacher. So I feel like this book club is going to be led by a professional. I can't wait to see how it goes. And I think it's going to be really, really fun. Mom's going to walk your son. You're going to walk your son in the Dog Days Safari. But you better put a dog outfit on him. All right. Make sure he wears dog outfit. Edie says, I've already bought the book and I can't wait to read it. Cool. I'm excited about it too. All right. And then I also just want to go through. Oh, I did not do a good job on this slide, but it's okay. I want to just go through some little changes we have for August in our schedule. It's all good things. For one, this Saturday only, so tomorrow, I'm moving the schedule for Saturday earlier tomorrow. So it's already in the schedule, but its classes start tomorrow on August 1st at 6 a.m. Pacific. So it's like 6 to 7:30 a.m. Pacific instead of 8 to 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Some of you guys might love that. Hopefully you don't hate it. It's only for this week, but I just wanted to heads up on that. Okay. And The Find Your Fit series that I just mentioned is at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. That is Monday through Friday, starting on Monday. Also, I was hoping with Find Your Fit, I just want to mention that at this time, I chose this time for a few reasons, but one reason is East Coast. I know a lot of you guys are East Coast or Midwest, and this is like right around lunchtime for you. So I was hoping that this would be a great time for a lunchtime. It's only 25 minutes that would work out. So I hope. Okay. Evening classes are in August, going back to 25 minutes for August. And then I'm going to ask for feedback of which you like better, 40 or 25 for evening. So just notice which one you like. And then TRX is way more in the schedule starting next month. There's 10-minute ones. Um, and I also added kickboxing. So there are short and 10-minute and 25-minute kickboxing just in the regular schedule. So check out the schedule for August. There's some surprises in there. Should be fun. Megan says, I love a lunchtime workout. Yay! Awesome. So, anyway, I try to change it up. All the walking classes are changed up, and I hope you love it. All right. I think that's it. So make sure you're in the Discord. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. It was so fun. Remember your challenge. Videotape yourself doing your workout and just maybe one move and look for the opportunity and then keep focusing on that for the rest of this week. All right. And that is it. That brings us to the end. Thank you. It's been great. Love you guys.